Okay, so you only need to watch number 1 if you missed number 1. If you didn't miss it, you need to fast forward because there's no reason to waste your time. You know what you're doing. So if you read this, the question says, how much change should Mrs. Relaford receive? So change usually means we are subtracting. If you do all this work and do not subtract, you've missed a step. It says Mrs. Relaford ordered 2 eggs, a slice of bacon, which would be 1 slice, right? And a glass of orange juice for breakfast. Sales tax for the order was 48 cents, and she paid with a $10 bill. So we have to add up all the money she spent. So 1 egg is $1.69. But she got 2 because Mrs. Relaford likes to eat. Just saying. She also got a slice of bacon, so that's $1.49. She also got a glass of orange juice, which is $1.09. Tax was 48 cents. When you add decimals, you have to line up all the decimals. Now in real life, I would add 2 together, and then I would add the next one, and then I would add the next one, and then I would add the next one. That's up to you. You could also round this to $1.70, $1.70, $1.50, $1.10, and 50 cents. Just know your answer won't come out perfectly. When you get this answer, you need to subtract it from $10. This answer goes right here with the decimal right here, of course. This answer is going to be your answer. So you had to add and then you had to subtract. You might have missed that there were 2 eggs, you might have forgotten about the sales tax, or you might have forgotten to subtract. Remember, if everything's not on your paper, you're not getting your points back, so make sure you wrote everything. Rebecca needs 10 1/2 yards of fabric to make a quilt. She has 1 piece of fabric that is 2 1/2 yards and another piece that is 4 1/4 yards. How many more yards of fabric does Rebecca need? How many more means we have to subtract. It's a whole step you can't forget. So you are going to have to add 2 1/2 plus 4 1/4. To do this, you're going to, because this is how much she has. To do this, you're going to need a common denominator. You have 2 and 4. Your common denominator is going to be 4. So you have to rewrite it with a 4 on bottom and a 2 on top. Double check your work. Did you forget that? And the other one you don't have to change. She has 6 3/4. You see that's an answer choice, and if you got excited and circled it, you forgot the how many more part. You have to subtract. You're going to subtract 10 1/2 minus 6 3/4. Do not forget, this 2 has to change to 4, which means you have to multiply this number 1 times 2 for that number. The answer to this, I'm going to help you with that just because it's weird. 1 times 2 is 2. Now, the answer to this is going to be your answer. Maybe you got this far and then you made a mistake borrowing. Once I saw this, I thought maybe that's what happened. So let's look. Your denominator stays the same. You cannot do 2 minus 3, so you have to borrow. I cannot borrow from 0, there's nothing there. So I have to borrow from the 1. And that makes the 0 9. And that does not make this 12. With fractions, you have to add the denominator. So that makes it 6. Now 6 minus 3 is 3. And 9 minus 6 is 3. That looks like a 0. See, I'm like just trying to confuse you, aren't I? 9 minus 6 is 3. I'm trying to let you finish on your own is what I'm doing. It's not working. Sorry. Make sure you showed all your work. Number 3 says the distance between two cities on a map is 3.5 centimeters. The map uses a scale, bing, 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 in which 1 centimeter represents 20 kilometers. What is the actual distance between the two cities? When you see the word scale, you either use a proportion or you see the word scale factor. Did they give you the word scale factor? Both words together. They didn't. It's not in there. So you are going to have to set up a proportion. Half of your proportion is right here. The other half comes here. Now, if it's 3.5 centimeters, is it going to go on top or bottom? Top, right? So your x is going to go on bottom. When you solve this, you multiply 20 times 3.5. And you end up with 70, or 700, sorry. And then you have a decimal. There is one number behind the decimal, so there needs to be one number behind the decimal here. On your griddable, if the decimal isn't right here, you are not correct. 20 times 3.5 is 70. And 1 times x is x. So this is your answer. The decimal has to be there. If you got it right on your paper, but wrong in real life, you got a decimal issue, my friend. Alright, we've got a color code. Check your color coding. If you are looking to correct this problem, you will not get points if you have not color coded. It is required unless you got it right, and then it's your business. But if you're looking to correct and get points back, you got to do it my way. We're looking for the value of x. So the way I do it, I start with x because that's what I need, and I pick one of the other numbers. Now I have 13.5, which is smaller, but it has a decimal in it. And I have 18, which is bigger, but it doesn't have a decimal. So I'm going to choose 18. You can choose 13.5 if you like, but I don't. So, x is purple. 18 is orange. Top has to be purple. Bottom has to be orange. What number in the other shape matches x? And what number matches 18? So you're going to multiply 15 times 18. And 12 times x. No, this will not get you enough points. I'm going to have to see you work it out. Now, you multiply or you cross product, and then it's like this stuff disappears. We don't care about it anymore. The only thing I care about is this equation. The rest, whatever. And the reason we don't care about this is so you don't divide by the wrong number. You need to now divide both sides by 12. You must work the multiplication and the division, and I have to see both. Normally on a test I don't, but when you're looking to make up your points, I gotta have both. Number 5, Ms. Luna made a scale, bing, 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 of the San Jacinto Monument. The monument has an actual height of 604 feet. Ms. Luna's model uses a scale in which 1 inch represents 100 feet. What is the height in inches of Ms. Luna's model? If you see the word scale, it's either a proportion or it will have the word scale factor. The word scale factor is not in this problem. Scale is, not scale factor. So you are going to have to set up a proportion. Half of your proportion comes from right here. 1 inch, 100 feet. The other side is going to have this number in it. It's feet, so it's going to go here. Feet, feet. Solve this proportion and you'll have it. If you did this and you made a mistake, it is probably with the decimal. So if this is how your proportion looks and you made a mistake, remember to divide by 100, you're going to move your decimal 2 times to the left.